Hello, I'm Nereida Cruz, founder of the Affluent Mentor Program. Welcome back. This video is called Crippling Fear and the Hell It Creates. And you might ask, that's quite the title, but let me tell you, just the other day you attended my training on how to start and scale your business to 7 figures with a predictable process. And I shared how fear is the underlying cause of these questions, and it causes people to remain in a state of inaction. I want to thank you for attending the training, and I hope you enjoyed it. Since the training, I had people asking a lot of questions on problems they are facing. In yesterday's video, I addressed a concern about their niche. This was the first big problem people were faced with, and I shared the video to bring more clarity about how to pick a niche, how to be confident about your skills, and about why confidence and self-appointment is the first step to gaining mastery. I also had people sending questions about how to get clients, and it was quite obvious a lot of people had a lot of fear and uncertainty around being able to get the high-value clients most people want, but they find very hard to get. I knew I had to do another video to address this problem because this is a problem a lot of people have, and again, I recorded a video for you explaining my phone process for getting clients from A through Z. I taught our process and how we use Facebook. I ran through all of the numbers, and I even went through my golden fleece sales script. I sent you the video by email as well. If you missed those videos, the link is below this video and you can go check that out as soon as you're done with this one. In this video, I'll talk about fear, and I'll share some examples of people and companies who you are very familiar with and have gone through tremendous challenges and have been able to get through them and are extremely successful. These are amazing examples. Many of you sent me emails saying, Nereida, I think I know what to do. I want it, I like it, and I trust the process will help me get clear on my niche. I think this process will definitely help me get clients. It sounds really good, but something is still just holding me back, and I can't really describe in words. I don't even know what it is. I just feel a little bit uncomfortable or not 100% convinced. I just feel something is holding me back and a little bit doubtful and a little bit scared. That was a very good point, and you're going to be coming up against this at one point or another. You're going to be facing this, and that is totally fine and totally normal. It's actually to be expected. Whenever you do something new and when you push yourself to new levels to really level up, it's expected to face resistance, and I want to compare it to a video game. When you go to the next level, it becomes more difficult, and it takes going through it the first 2 or 3 times to really get the hang of it and feel comfortable and confident, and you must go through it. The same, it's true in life. If you want to take your business from a small business to an affluent business, a world empire business, you're going to come up against resistance. And if you want to change your life, if you want to go from making a mediocre income like the majority of people as an employee or as a struggling small business, and you want to transform it to a life of freedom, flexibility, and make 7 figures as a successful entrepreneur, of course you're going to come up against resistance. Here we have the start of Apple in 1976. Steve Jobs co-founded Apple in his parents' home, and this was Apple's first product, the Apple I. Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, and Ronald Wayne went through massive resistance to build the revolution that now Apple is. Here you can see their massive transformation. Now, how that resistance shows up most of the time is fear. It's fear of what might happen. There's fear that things might not work out, and what's this looks like most of the time is when you're thinking about the future too much. What I've realized is when you're faced with the idea of starting or scaling a business, you just think too out into the future. You think about the first week in the program, your first month, your first year, and you think about the second year and the third year, and you just get overwhelmed and project and blow it right out of proportion because you start thinking about all these different things you have to get, different things you have to do, all these different things you have to learn. You just can't get yourself to break down your thinking and to actually think about today. What I call that is just having too much past or too much future. And it might sound a little bit weird to you, so what I will do right now is I'm going to show you a quick diagram to show you what I mean. And it's because being in the past or in the future can cripple you and will eat up your years. I know it crippled me to get started for a long time. I could hardly get out of bed in the morning. I couldn't wake up, and sometimes I would wake up and I'd be like, oh, I have to get up and I have to send emails. I have to be in front of people to get new business. I don't want to face the day. I'll stay in bed longer. And if I could get myself out of bed, I would get in my car and drive around. I would drive through expensive streets and just look at the houses just to try and get motivation. And I'd also just drink 2 coffees and would drive around some more and 1 or 2 hours just to get the confidence to go back and face the day. Then when I started doing sales calls, I'm not kidding you at all, I would quite often, even though I don't really want to admit it, I would drink about 3 coolers before I could even start getting people on the phone. And it's not a good example. Don't take this example. This is bad advice. But that's one thing I would do. I would just listen to music and then I'd feel a little bit more confident and I would get people on the phone. I had massive fear. I probably had more fear than you have right now. And I had to start my own business completely on my own. And having to go out there and get sales training, and it was on a big challenge for me. I came up against resistance and all kinds of fear. When I started, I had no one to help me, so I went through the struggle alone until I finally got my idea to get my first mentor. When I did that, it became a total game changer. I grew 20 times quicker, and the lessons I learned are invaluable. I got this valuable lesson I'm now going to share with you from her. Here is what I learned about this. This is really important and you want to pay close attention to this. We live in these 3 different areas: past, present, and future. You live in 3 different states of mind. You are living in what you think about, whether it's past, present, or future. And as you talk about it, you are bringing it into existence because the mind does not know the difference between real and imagined. But when you live in the past or future, you're not taking action towards your best today. Living in the past probably isn't very true for people watching this video, but I know if you're watching this video, then you probably are one that has too much future. This is a big one for entrepreneurs. Let's talk about those who are stuck in the past. A lot of people are stuck in the past. You let things that have happened in the past affect your present moment because you keep replaying memories of things that happened years ago. You think about them, talk about them, and maybe even cry about them. For instance, you keep replaying that your teacher might have told you you're not good enough at math. Another one might have said you're not good at English. Someone might have told you you're dumb. Someone might have told you you'll never amount to anything. All of these people telling you all of these different things, and you can't let it go. You relive the past and stay there. You might replay the memories again and again and again inside your head, and it cripples you and paralyzes you. And for that reason, you can't do anything about your current day. You are just frozen and paralyzed. You can't take action. This is one state where you can live, and when you live in this state, you will always be depressed. So if you have too much past, you will be depressed, and these days they try to pump you full of all these different drugs, and really I don't think this is a very good method for fixing things. Sure, some people have chemical imbalances and things like that, but I think for the most part you just have too much past and you need to learn to get out of there. You need to, first of all, recognize it, and you need to get out of there, and you need to have a process and a system for getting out of it. Whenever you get stuck in that past, again, that's one state you can be living in. The other side of the spectrum is having too much future, and this is where you are probably living right now, because this is what I have found most entrepreneurs are living in. Entrepreneurs really are people who want to be optimistic, and they don't really have a case of living in the past. They have a case of living in the future. And if you have too much future, you will always feel anxious, anxiety will creep in, and this is what I had. When I was getting started, I couldn't help to think about, is what I'm going to do today, is that going to take me in the right directions for where I want to be in 2 months, 6 months, a year, to be in an affluent position in 20 years and for the rest of my life? I would just plan and have these big plans. I would always be planning things, writing lists, thinking about all these weird things, which would lead to me researching and trying to get the perfect plan. And I was just constantly thinking. My whole days were just occupied with thoughts about the future. And you can feel like you're achieving things because you're actually using your brain and thinking. But all you're really doing by thinking about the future too much is causing yourself a lot of harm and a lot of anxiety. And if you do live in the future, it's very hard to take action today because what you're thinking about is too far out. There's a lot of things you need to do in between to reach it. There's a lot of things you have to learn. There's a lot of things to do, and there's a lot of things you don't know. And to be quite honest with you, you can't even forecast them at all. People can't even forecast the weather for the next 7 days. How the heck are you supposed to forecast the next year? It's impossible. So a lot of people have too much anxiety and it causes massive harm. And if you do have too much future, you will be overwhelmed. You'll overwhelm yourself and you won't even take action right now, today. And that means these two different states where most people live, they're extremely dangerous for you. And if you get stuck in these two places, you will never get anything done. You will never be successful. The places where creation happens and where you are able to live and the places where you are to be thinking is the place right now, here in the present. And the present is this current day. Everything changed for me in my business and in my life when I started thinking like this. I have started to make a lot of money since then. I started to live with a lot less fear and anxiety when I figured this out. When I started, I wrote down my goals and I said, I'm going to live in day-tight compartments. And I'm only going to think about the current day. The question I ask myself when I wake up every morning is, how can I make money today? I used to think, how can I make money with my business this year? And what that led to was me doing tasks that were not necessary and me planning for the future that probably wasn't even going to happen anyway. I decided to start living in day-tight compartments every single day, and I started taking action every single day. And when I started doing this, everything shifted for me. Everything changed, and that's when I started to have some massive breakthroughs. And still to this day, I ask myself, what can I do today to make things happen in the next 24 hours? And as of right now, my current goal every single day is to make at least $25,000 a day. So when I wake up in the morning, I want to make $25,000 every single day. And I'm pleased to tell you I'm doing significantly more than that. And I have done it for more than 3 months now. There hasn't been a single day where it's been less than that. That's my focus now. I used to think so broad. I used to worry about what my years was going to look like. I worried about what 2 years, 3 years, 5 years would look like. And guess what? I had really awesome plans. I was able to describe my plans and it sounded very attractive to everybody, but I never achieved anything. I don't have many plans now. I have a rough plan, but I achieve a lot. And it's because I removed the past and I removed the future. And I just focus on the present and I just focus on today. So if you have been watching my training videos and you're thinking, I want to start my own entertainment and education business. I want to make a change in my life. I want to quit my job. I want to have a life of freedom and abundance. I want to make a big income. I want to improve the situation of my family. I want to do all of these things. That's great. That's awesome. It all starts with wanting it. The second one is taking action knowing that you have a mentor, and knowing that you have a proven process to follow. I'll say this again. Number 1 is wanting it. This is where it all starts. Just telling yourself, you know what? I'm not happy with where I am at right now. I want to change, and I want it really bad. I am going to do it. It's where it all begins. Then number 2 is having a mentor and a proven process. This is crucial. I went at it alone for a long time, and I didn't have a mentor, and I didn't have the process. I had to figure it all out on my own, and it was horrible. It was hard, and I wish no one else should have to go through the difficulties again. It's so hard, and it's a long process. You don't have a mentor that can give you the process to $100,000 a month or more, and that's what I have in Affluent Mentor Program. I also have my Facebook community, Q&A groups, the calls, and support, and a lot of value. But since most people don't have that, they don't have that set up in their business, most people will give up. When I finally realized I couldn't keep doing it that hard, and I started paying attention and got myself a mentor. But before that, I wasted a lot of money, I got into debt, and I burned through a lot of hours of my life, and really years of my life, that I will never get back, and I could have shortcut that and create a faster path to success if I had a mentor and I had a proven process to follow. This is vital. It's the difference between getting to where I want to go in 6 months to a year, or get there in 20 to 30 years, or most likely never. The third step is taking action. If you have these 3 things, there is no way you're not getting to where you want to go. First of all is recognize you want it. Second is to get a mentor and a proven process. And third is to cut out the past, cut out the future, and you just think about today and take action. Right now you have the ability to join Affluent Mentor Program and our Awesome Leaders of the World family. It's my 6-week online course, and I go through step by step how to implement the processes that I have in my own business to start or scale your entertainment and education business to $100,000 a month or more. I have the instructions set out in a step-by-step process from scratch, and you start setting your course in the first weeks to high-value clients. So you start setting up your course and you sell it within the first weeks. Right now you can enroll in the program, and I will be your mentor. You will follow my process, my proven process, and I can tell you without a doubt this is the best mentor and the best process you can possibly have in the entire world right now to start and scale your entertainment and education business. It took me 7 years to figure this out, and you have this process that you can have access to in the Affluent Mentor Program and create this in 6 weeks. Now, you have getting a mentor covered, so that's checked out, and I will give you my process, so that's checked out as well. And if you're watching this video and you attended the trainings, it's safe to assume you want it. You want to make a change in your life. You want more affluence in your life. You want to increase your income to $100,000 a month or more. Now, you're left with the third one, and it's to take action today. Remove your past, remove your future. You're never going to make changes in those places. All you're going to do is cause yourself harm and pain. And if you do that, and it's not just mental pain, mental harm, it's pain points in your body, but actual pain points that materialize in the real world as well if you live in the past and in the future. Through not being able to take action, having a decreased income, and things like that. It's very important to only think about today and take action today. And right now you can enroll in the Affluent Mentor Program. This can be the start of your taking action today. You can scroll down, you can click that button, and we can get yourself enrolled. We can get yourself enrolled today, get you into the course, and I will get you into Facebook, the Facebook community today. Get you together with people who are already implementing the Affluent Mentor Program, and will get you learning today and start to take action right now. People who get results don't think, I'll do that in 6 months. I'll tell you what, there's people who send me emails, like some of my friends They know I have a mentoring business, and they're like, yeah, once I finish this and once I finish that. And then they say, yeah, once I do about a year worth in my job. And they're like, once I do this one, and I'll get back once I get back from my vacation, or right now it's not the perfect time. And those different statements together is the voice of failure. And if you say that, you're never going to get what you want, ever. The only perfect time to do anything is right now. There will never be a perfect time. If you're thinking, I'll wait until I have to do this, do that, or do that, let me tell you, by the time you do that, it will be something else. So it's very important to recognize these patterns and understand that if you continue to fall for those patterns, then you will never get what you want and you're never going to be successful. So it's so important and so vital to take action today. And I encourage you right now to scroll down, click that big green button. Let's get you enrolled in Affluent Mentor, and let's mark this third one off for you right now. That's how I've been able to get past my fear, and that's how I handle it. It becomes easier to take action, but you must practice it daily. That's how I've been able to personally handle it, and that's how I recommend you go about handling fear for yourself as well. Now, what I want to do is introduce you to 3 examples of people who have been able to push through their fears. What I want you to see is that people who achieve big things also go through fear, massive fear, the same fear you are going through right now. A lot of people think that successful people don't have fear. When you're getting started, you may think, oh, those people make 7 figures. You may think, oh, Nereida is making a lot of money. I don't think she's worried about those things. She must have just gone about her business and it must have been easy for her. She must have just blown through the whole process without feeling any resistance or fear. And that couldn't be any further from the truth. I had fear worse than you can possibly imagine. I told you about some of the things I did to break through and pass those fears. In the same way, so did all of these legends when they started, and they got through it and they achieved amazing success. That's what I want for yourself. Know you are a legend in the making, and it starts today with a decision to start. I want to share those examples with you right now because since you're here right now, I'm certain you will have similar stories as a child, and as the saying goes, when we look back, it must be just to analyze how far we have come. You as an entrepreneur must have similar stories when you were getting started in business and serving people. You have been able to get past your fears up to this point, and it will continue to be like that in certain situations. You create your own opportunities. Remember, people who get past their fears and keep going go on to change the world and become legendaries for their accomplishments. The first one I want to talk about is Warren Buffett. At only 6 years old, Warren Buffett purchased 6 packs of Coca-Cola from his grandfather's grocery store for 25 cents and resold each of the bottles for a nickel, pocketing a 5-cent profit. That's how his journey began. While other children his age were playing hopscotch and jacks, Warren was making money. 5 years later, Warren Buffett took his first step into the world of high finance. At 11 years old, he purchased 3 shares of City Service Preferred at $38 per share for both himself and his older sister. Shortly after buying the stock, it fell to just over $27 per share, and this is where fear crept in. A frightened but resilient Warren, he held his shares until they rebounded to $40. Then, still a bit panicked, he promptly sold them, and he shares that was a mistake he would soon come to regret because City Service shot up to $200 per share, and the experience taught him one of the basic lessons of entrepreneurship and investing. Fear will have you exiting the game early, and massive reward comes from holding on longer than most are willing to go. Fear is part of moving up and in business, and when you are in the present with me as your mentor and with a proven system, you are forewarned, prepared, patient, working and moving forward. consistently, and you're doing it in the present moment, doing what it takes, and there's no way you will fail. This way you have a guarantee to success because you have a proven process. Understand that with me as your mentor and with my proven process of my proven proof of concept, there is no way to lose. This is when you focus on one niche and you do the same work again and again, and you realize that it really is the same thing that you are doing. And once you achieve that, you have your proof of concept running consistently. That's the process I help you achieve. When you're doing done for you, you're like a slave, a mule. It's hard and it's time consuming. It's tedious, and your income is capped out when you're doing done for you. You're doing manual labor. There's that invisible ceiling. But when you're doing digital courses, your value is the proven process you share with them, and that's in your course. That will solve their problem, and they implement it in their niche. In the previous video, I showed you my process for getting clients, and I gave you the information in detail. In the program, I walk you through picking your niche. I give you a predictable system to get clients, and not just a predictable system to generate the appointments, but I also shared my golden fleece conversion script, a predictable sales script to close clients on your valuable offer. In the program, I train you on how to do that, not only how to generate appointments, but how to close appointments, and that is all of the work we do together in Affluent Mentor 6-week program. In this program just works for people who want to start in business from scratch, or people who already have authority in business, but they want to scale their business. I will walk you through both scenarios. Affluent Mentor is for men and women who work with people. Can be businesses, business to business, business to consumer. At the end of the day, it all boils down to we are all customers, we're consumers. It solves a problem, and it's for people. Affluent Mentor is for people who want more time, more freedom, and want to scale their business to 7 figures and beyond. It works in areas that are not just marketing and niches that have to do with business. It works for people in law, weight loss, arts, food industry, technology. Everything pretty much falls under entertainment and education. It works for people who are trying to get businesses off the ground. I take you from being a generalist to picking a niche and being a specialist. We get all of these random things that you're currently doing, and we clear the slate completely. I help you raise your prices. We can go from like $997 or whatever you're at right now, and we create just one service. You solve one big problem to a niche market, and you make that service minimum $5,000. Now, in this next example, I aim to show that with the rise of the internet world, the 2.0 new digital world, it's become easier to get your big break. There's now more eyes on you, and the knowledge you'll find on the internet is powerful when you know how to use it and to take action, like in this instance. Warren Buffett started business in what I call the old traditional 1.0 world. But with the technology we now have at our fingertips, a new world emerged, and I call it the 2.0 new digital world. My next example, Ariana Grande, she began her career as just a child because she had parents who guided her and noticed her talents and nurtured them at such a young age. Her parents were her mentors, and she looked up to certain stars in the industry. At the age of 15, she was a part of the 2008 Broadway musical 13, and she also gained popularity for her role as Kat Valentine in the Nickelodeon television series Victorious, and after in Sam and Cat. Ariana Grande had an interest for music, and she recorded songs for the soundtracks of Victorious and signed with Republic Records in 2011 after the label's executives discovered videos of her covering songs that she uploaded onto YouTube. She then went on to release her debut album, Yours Truly, and that was in 2013. And Ariana Grande says she grew up mainly listening to urban pop and 90s music, and has cited Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey as her major vocal influences, saying, I love Mariah Carey. She is literally my favorite human being on the planet. And of course, Whitney Houston as well. As far as vocal influences go, Whitney and Mariah pretty much cover it. So she describes also that Gloria Estefan was the person who inspired her to pursue a career in the music industry after Gloria Estefan complimented a performance she saw Ariana Grande give on a cruise when she was only 8 years old. Ariana Grande knows work and she knows sacrifice to stand up for what she believes in and has been scared many times. Ariana Grande has stated she had post-traumatic stress disorder and anxiety following the 2017 Manchester Arena bombing. She commented on her social media that she almost didn't work in her performance in the 2018 broadcast A Very Wicked Halloween due to anxiety. And Ariana Grande also has said she has been in therapy for over a decade. First, seeing a mental health professional shortly after her parents divorced. So it's natural to feel scared and continue to push forward. And I think that people believe that other people will not buy, but remember, I'm here as your mentor to show you the path. We want to focus on one very good niche and on just solving a big problem, and we want to make it a high-priced focused offer. That's what I do with my clients. Then we increase the price at that time, applying my process to create a client-generating machine, to which I showed you in the previous video and will cover step by step in Affluent Mentor. I give you my client appointment generating machine technique, and you solve big problems for your niche and for businesses. The Affluent Mentor program is for you if you want to earn $100,000 or more per month. I share the system and processes to scale to that or more. Now, what I want to tell you about these examples is they both have gone through massive fear. And what's important and what I want to show you with these examples is that people who have gone through and achieved these amazing things, they were confronted and faced with massive fear, and they pushed through. I shared my story as well today, so if you're facing this fear right now about getting started, let me tell you first, it's totally normal. Everyone has it, and we need to just take action. Action drives down fear. It's like if you're standing on the side of a swimming pool. You know what that's like. If you're standing on the side of a cold pool, if you stand there too long and think about it, it's so hard to jump in. You probably won't even do it. If you stand for too long, you're going to psych yourself out way too much, and you're going to be like, screw this, I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to walk back. But if you walk up to the pool and you just jump in, you'll be like, oh, that was quicker than I thought now. And you start to have fun and you enjoy yourself. That's exactly what fear is like with business too. The longer you sit at the starting line, the longer you analyze all of these different moves, these different options, all of these different possibilities, the longer you plan things out. It's a trip because you think that you're being smart by thinking and analyzing, but really all you're doing is analyzing the unpredictable, which is a worthless use of your time anyway. And you're putting so much anxiety and fear into yourself that you're never going to be able to move. So don't do it. Action drives out thought, and if you want to get rid of your fear, if you want to make a change and actually start gaining some momentum and improving your life and your business, then just jump in. The button is below. Just scroll down, click that link, and schedule your free strategy session. Call and enroll into the Affluent Mentor program right now. Action drives out fear. It's the quickest way to get rid of fear and get you on your path. Now, I want to talk about example number 3, and this one is none other than Oprah Winfrey. And you want to hear Oprah's story. It's amazing. Oprah has an amazing story. She started her career coming from a 9-to-5 job, so absolutely from scratch. She had no idea about business and no idea about anything. Oprah Winfrey was just she was born into poverty in rural Mississippi to a teenage single mother and later raised in an inner city Milwaukee. She has stated that she was molested during her childhood and early teens and became pregnant at 14. Her son was born prematurely and died in infancy. Oprah Winfrey was then sent to live with the man she now calls her father, Vernon Winfrey, a barber in Tennessee, and landed a job in radio while still in high school. By the age of 19, she was a co-anchor for the local evening news. Oprah often emotional deliveries of the show eventually led to her transfer to daytime talk show arena. And after boosting a third-rated local Chicago talk show to first place, she landed her own production company and became internationally recognized. Oprah was raised by her grandmother, who was so poor that Oprah often wore dresses made out of potato sacks, for which other children made fun of her. Her grandmother taught her to read before the age of 3 and took her to the local church where she was nicknamed the preacher for her ability to recite Bible verses. Oprah's grandmother was her first mentor, and I take it here you're starting to notice a pattern. At age 6, Oprah Winfrey moved to an inner city neighborhood in Milwaukee, Wisconsin with her mother, who was unfortunately less supportive and encouraging than her grandmother had been, largely as a result of the long hours she worked as a maid. And this is where fear shows up, not just in business, but in personal relationships also, due to a rocky childhood. As an adult, according to Oprah, her emotional turmoil gradually led to a weight problem. She said, "The reason I gained so much weight in the first place and the reason I had such a sorry history of abusive relationships with men was I just needed approval so much. I needed everyone to like me because I didn't like myself so much. So I'd end up with these cruel, self-absorbed guys who'd tell me how selfish I was, and I'd say, 'Oh, thank you, you're so right,' and be grateful to them, because I had no sense that I deserved anything else, which is also why I gained so much weight later on. It was the perfect way of cushioning myself against the world disapproval." And that's what Oprah stated. Oprah later confessed to smoking crack cocaine with a man she was romantically involved with, and during the same era, she also explained on her show, "I always felt that the drug itself is not the problem, but that I was addicted to man." She added, "I can't think of anything I wouldn't have done for that man." So, Oprah was allegedly involved in a second drug-related love affair. Self-proclaimed former boyfriend Randolph Cook said they lived together for several months in 1985 and did drugs. In 1997, Cook tried to sue Oprah for $20 million for allegedly blocking her from a tell-all book about their relationship. So Oprah has gone through fear. She's gone through trials, and she's gone through a lot of betrayal from those close people, but that never stopped her in her professional life. Oprah is today, she is known as an American media executive, actress, talk show host, television producer, and philanthropist. Named the Queen of All Media, she was the richest African American of the 20th century and North America's first black multi-billionaire. And she has been ranked the greatest black philanthropist in American history. By 2017, she was also ranked as the most influential woman in the world. You see, Oprah just knew things could be better, and she had to fix her situation. If not, the rest of her life was going to be pretty miserable. She couldn't just keep working the same way. She wanted more, and she wanted to change. And that happened, and it's the best thing that could happen. For many of my clients, when they decide to click on my Facebook ads and enroll because they want more, They know they must make a change, and if they don't make a change in their life, nothing is going to change. So they think, I'm just going to trust Nereida. I'm going to trust this process, and I'm just going to do the work, and I will see what happens. And some are totally uncertain and scared, but they take the plunge, they enroll, and they just start doing the work. I have some students that go from working a 9-to-5 job, making around $40,000 a year, and with about $100 in the bank account, and after implementing my proven process in the Affluent Mentor program, they get to $100,000 a month. Those are the transformations that are happening when you make a decision to start and do the work. You can go from 9 to 5 and start making $100,000 a month. Now, $100,000 a month, that's over $1.3 million in 1 year. That's 7 figures. That's big money. So here you have 3 cases of people who went from not really knowing anything about business and having a lot of fear, a lot of skepticism. They were confronted with this, but they got through it. They started their businesses and they achieved massive things in a short period of time. These are real people. These are real stories, and they're in all different niches and all different walks of life. So this video today, I shot it to help you go through your fear, because I can tell that a lot of people have been writing with different questions, and the underlying thing is they have a bit of skepticism. They want to do it. They want to make a change, but they're not 100% convinced, and I can tell you that you will never be 100% convinced. You can research this and research it again for the rest of your life. You can keep gathering facts, you can keep checking things, you can keep making pros and cons list. Keep doing these things for a lifetime. You can do it for 10 back-to-back lifetimes, but you're never going to be 100% convinced, and it's because when you start your own business, you are not 100% certain of anything. And if it was a game where you are 100% convinced of everything, well, everyone would be doing it. There's always going to be some uncertainty, and that's just what you're going to be faced with. What you want to do is make improvements, and you just have to understand, first of all, that the uncertainty and the fear and the skepticism, it's all normal. I faced it. Everyone else faces it. Buffett faced it. Ariana faced it. Oprah faced it. And if you're facing it yourself right now, it's totally normal, and understand that. Okay, it is normal. It's not just me. It's not just this weird fear I have. And second of all, take action. When you take action, it will drive out the thought, and you get on your way. You will start to take action, start to build momentum, and will start getting results. All of my examples would still be back on the starting line looking ahead if they never jumped in and took action. And I can tell you, if they were still back on the starting line looking at everyone else who's winning, they would be very, very upset and depressed. One thing which I'm sure causes more pain to everyone than uncertainty is the regret of what they could have become. And a lot of people always say, well, I'm not 100% sure if I'm doing this, and I think it would be safe if I didn't do it. But let me tell you, the small amount of fear you have about doing it, in 6 months from now, or in a year from now, or 2 years, the pain and regret you'll have from not doing this and seeing other people go through the course that actually did it and seeing them get results will be far greater than the small little discomfort you have right now. And you don't want to live a life where you look back and think, I could have done that. I could have been one of those people. I can guarantee you that I'm going to keep bringing you more and more clients who have achieved their $100,000 per month or more. And it's just going to keep happening. These people are going to keep coming into my program. I'm going to help them start and scale entertainment and education businesses, and they're just going to keep coming out and making more money and getting more success. This is going to keep happening, and that's a fact. The question is, do you want to be one of those people? Or do you just want to be one of those people that stand on the sidelines and watches everyone else get success and get what they want? And I can tell you that you don't want to be that person on the sidelines, because it is very painful to see others do what you could have done yourself. And this pretty much wraps up this video today. I wanted to really create this to help you make a decision, help you get through that fear and uncertainty. Also, I wanted to share some examples with you. I really hope this video has served you. I hope it enabled you to get through your fear, and I encourage you right now to scroll down, click the green button, and book your call with me and enroll to the Affluent Mentor Program. It's my life's work. It's a 6-week online course. It shows you how to start and scale your online entertainment or education business from scratch and get your first high-value clients in the first weeks of starting the program. So that's the big promise from me to you. And that's what you and I will be working together to achieve in just 6 weeks. So scroll down, click that green button, because I can guarantee you these clients are going to keep coming. I'm going to keep manufacturing success, and it's going to keep going out into the marketplace. And there's no way that you're going to be able to miss it. So if you're one of those people that just stays on the sidelines and watches as other people achieve success, you don't want to be one of those people. I can tell you that the discomfort from not doing something which you could have done and seeing others do it is not how you want to live. Click the button now and schedule your breakthrough strategy session to enroll in the Affluent Mentor Program.